Don't call them by illiterate. Don't talk about illiteracy. Anybody who can own gun, who can handle gun, who can cock gun and clean the chamber and cock and shoot is technically competent to repair a tractor in the farm.
It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian. It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian.
And it's been a year and 3 months, I think. Right now, when are you going to share the rice? When are they going to share the money? The questions being asked by the suspected 50 million youth. Intelligence. Nigerians have intelligent people who can construct and run a 24 hours electricity in their country after 63, nearly 64 years of supposed independence. But come on now. Imagine if you are a parent and you have a son that is 64 years old, useless, is failed in a marriage or relationship. It's been a kind of like, they have a name for them, a layback, not a layback. It's been a failure in business. It's been a failure in everything. He's 64 years old and you are still the one feeding him. Would you be proud of such a son or child? 67 years old man or 70-year-old man.
Tiagasa, they tiagasa. He fell, he fainted, he passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man. 70 years old man.
70 years old man. I'll leave the 70-year-old man for now and let this guy who says he has a message for him, especially what to look out for with his romance with Wike. This is one of the other statesmen from Rivers State, by the way. Listen.
Untoward that could cost PDP Rivers State, because we saw it in 2014-15. PDP lost Rivers State, true or false? PDP lost. That's they lost Amechi. That imbroglio cost President Jonathan, Rivers State, cost President Jonathan his seat. Because had Amechi remained governor of Rivers State and chairman of Governors Forum, there was no way APC would have won the presidency. Here again, the same dramatist personnel, his personal interests. It is not proper, instead of basking in his popularity, having done well as governor of Rivers State to some extent, he is becoming notorious. Our former governor has become notorious because of this Governor Siminalayi Fubara's matter. He's become notorious because if these kind of issues continues to resonate negatively and one man is involved, I think it makes the same person become his notorious. So what does it call for? It calls for men of conscience, men and women of conscience, citizens, true citizens, patriots, to come together to say, please, this should not happen. What is happening here will hurt the president. In our last press conference, we also mentioned to the president, I think the population of Rivers State is not less than 8 million people. And the voting strength of Rivers State is more than 3 million. What is happening today will make Tinubu unpopular amongst the voters of Rivers State. You can take this to the bank, because you cannot mess the governor of Rivers State up and expect that Rivers people will clap hands. I think that politically, coming back to political sociology I mentioned, as a sociologist, the president should know who his friend, that he needs Rivers State in 2027 and not 1 year on Wike. Even in APC as a political party, what is happening today? The APC people are not comfortable with Wike. Neither are the PDP people comfortable with Wike as a person. So that is the reason I will advise him as a son of Rivers State. He once was a beloved son. Let him make hay while the sun shines. So come back to retrace his steps, before he becomes terminally a profligate prodigal. A profligate prodigal. Let him retrace his steps. Otherwise, his end in politics may not be far. By the time you make yourself to be used as a pawn, by the time you make yourself to be a cannon fodder, by the time you make yourself to be used as a common mercenary, so we need a mercenary to go do this thing. Are you being called upon to do good? These issues, as we are discussing, my dear Carrie, is not a good one. Traditionally, Rivers State is a PDP state. These same people pushed Amechi out of PDP. And PDP is back. And they want to cause the governor of Rivers State to leave PDP. Unless the governor doesn't know his onions. There is no governor, we have seen it, based on precedent. Otom left ruling APC, true of us, to PDP. He won election because his people voted for him. The present governor of Rivers State, so far, is doing well. So far, is doing well. The goods of democracy dividends. He is doing good. I can enumerate a few things that were never done before. For the first time, 4 billion naira attracted from the Bank of Industry. That money is being distributed to, micro businesses. It was never done before. Going around the various, the educational sector.
You complain about insecurity, right? You complain about unemployment, right?
Yes.
You complain about the fact that, we are hungry, right?
Right.
You say we want to protest, right?
Right.
You say, you don't have medical facilities, right? You say you don't have good schools and good teachers, right? You say minimum wage, right? It's right.
Can't solve all the problems.
Rights, no problem. So for now, Fubara seems to be sharing the rights correctly, and he will have a lot of them on his side. Remember that Rivers State is the second richest state in Nigeria, by the way. Yeah. Going forward, not just an elder that says that if Tinubu should probably forget about 2020, they are talking about 2027. Can you see? It's unfortunate. They say leaders thinks about the next generation. but Nigerian politicians only, or should I say Nigerian dealers, only thinks about the next election. So it seems that things are coming around for the Fubara guy, by the way. He had, a few days ago, the supposed support from the PDP governors. I just want to share what they had to say, or what they said.
2024 fourth meeting held here in Government House, Jalingo, Taraba State on Friday, August 23rd, 2024. The PDP Governors Forum today, Friday 23rd, 2024, held a regular monthly meeting in Jalingo, the Taraba State capital, and issued the following communique. 1. The meeting deliberated on crucial intra-party and governance matters affecting our states, as well as those of overriding national interest and importance. 2. The governors noted with a sigh of relief the end of bad governance protest, which was aging to a major national crisis. We salute the dexterity of the governors, especially the PDP extraction, in handling the situation in their respective states with maturity, thereby restraining hoodlums and other unscrupulous elements from hijacking the protests. Number 3, the forum reiterates that peaceful protests are the inalienable rights of the citizens through which they vent their genuine grievances. The forum commiserates with the families of those innocent souls that were lost and calls on the federal government to ensure fair and speedy trial of those who were arrested. Number 4, the forum laments that rather than undertake a review of the macroeconomic and social policies with a view to giving them a human face, the federal government has resorted to blackmail. We call on Mr. President to show statesmanship by restraining his officials from blame games that make the subnationals look bad by mentioning piecemeal intervention that cannot solve the problem. We remain unshaken in our firm resolve to stand with the suffering Nigerian masses and to take all legitimate steps to ameliorate their plight. Number 5, the forum notes the political impasse in Rivers State, where court judgments are employed to determine the outcome of party congresses. The PDP Governors Forum restates its stand and firm support to the governor of Rivers State and will engage the NWC of the Great Party to revisit the Congress with a view to correcting the anomaly and allowing His Excellency Governor Similaye Abure to take his rightful leadership position of the party in the state. Number 6, with regard to the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State, we condemn the pronouncement by the President to compromise the election in favor of his party, as well as the systematic intimidation of PDP supporters by the Nigerian police, and call on his Inspector General of Police to call his men to order. Number 7, the forum notes with concern the refusal of the federal government to distinguish between the federal government revenue and the revenue accruing to the federation, which must be allocated in accordance with the extant laws. We call on the Federal Minister of Finance and the Accountant General of the Federation to be more transparent in obeying the law, particularly Section 1621, 2 and 3. And equally call on the Accountant General of the Federation to stop behaving like the Accountant General of the federal government and to exercise her role in line with the Constitution. Thereafter, Therefore, we call for the separation of the office of the Accountant General of the Federation and that of the Accountant General of the FGM. Lastly, the forum commends the host, our very good host, the Taraba State Governor, under the government, under Governor Dr. Abdul Kepa's for the hospitality accorded members of the forum and the secretariat, and noted with delight the giant steps taken to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people of the state. 2024.
Anarchy loans. Anarchy loans.
So from what I picked from that Turenshi, Dogo Turenshi, it's called, right? From what I picked from that is that the Accountant General of the Federation is not Accountant General of Tinubu. You go find out soon. Okay. And then, yeah, that Tinubu and his crew are not able to differentiate between federal government revenue and the Federation revenue and all that. So also, their support for Fubara, which was why I actually showed you that, okay? So they said something about Edo elections too, where APC is hell-bent, right? In taking the Edo state. There's been so much drama around that. The one that also dragged Abure, the supposed former chairman of Labour Party. The guy said he's still the chairman. But you remember that they were like, no, you're not. The Congress you are calling because of your this or that and your corruption. They actually mentioned corruption. Abure said those who are saying that were those are sponsored to get rid of him. And it's very sad that Peter Obi is listening to them and not listening to him, even though that one said, no, I want all of you to work together and sort your problems. But no, they won't. Abure was right there earlier today, granting what they call the press conference. Prior to that, last week, and INEC called the political parties in some states where, from states where they want to have elections, like Edo State, for example, right? And then Oshun later, and then where again? And some places where they're having local government election, whatever, right? This Mr. Yakubu called all of them, and they were having a chat around that. And Abure got bounced. They said Abure has been removed as chairman. He was not supposed to be there. So today, he had this to say. Let's go and listen. Abure.
Accordingly, it is very clear that the party has fulfilled its obligation to convene its convention. Therefore, for any person or group of persons or any agency to begin to instigate members of the party from the back door that the tenures of the executive have expired is tantamount to being unprofessional and mischievous. Number 7. We must also state that government business is not conducted verbally. It is done in official communication through writings and correspondences. As we speak, as at the moment, there is no communication whatsoever from INEC to the party as it regards any objection to the conduct of that convention. In administrative law parlance, once a communication has been made to a government agency and there is no response, it is deemed to mean that those communications and correspondences have been accepted. Indeed, INEC has related closely and clearly with the leadership of the party until recently, when the party was denied the invitation to attend the 3rd quarterly consultative meeting of political parties. As we speak, there is no correspondence from INEC to explain that action. 8. The National Working Committee notes that the National Convention of the party, held on the 27th day of March 2024, has been validated by a court of competent jurisdiction of the Federal High Courts, sitting in Abuja on the 16th day of June 2024, when it held that issues of leadership, conduct of congresses, and convention are internal affairs of a political party. The versatile and erudite judge went ahead to determine all the issues of notices, how the convention was held, delegates, amongst others, were determined by the court, and thus the court upheld the National Convention of the party, Consequently, it is our view that for anybody to hold the opinion that there is a vacuum in the leadership of the party is not only mischievous, but a deliberate attempt to cause panic, to cause chaos, and to disrupt the smooth workings of our great party, the Labour Party. Number 9, the National Working Committee of the Labour Party urges all members of the party to play by the rules, pay respect to the national leadership of the party and the party executives at all levels, and respect the party constitution. All party members are under obligation to respect the integrity, the dignity of the party and its leadership. Consequently, the national leadership states clearly that it will not hesitate henceforth, the party will not hesitate henceforth to discipline any member of the party, however highly placed, who is not ready to obey the constitution of the party and indeed obey the lawful directive of the leadership of the party. In this regard, the National Working Committee went ahead to set up a standing disciplinary committee as follows. Barrister Kehinde Edu, National Legal Advisor, is the chairman of that committee. Chief Clement Ojukwu, Deputy Chairman of the party, is a member. Dr. Ayo Olorufemi, Deputy Chairman of the party, is a member. Dudu Manuga, National Women Leader, is a member. Barrister Callistus Ihejuwa, State Chairman, Imo State, is a member. Alhaji Raji Ahmed, Chairman, Kano State, member. Alhaji Umar Farouk Ibrahim, National Secretary of the party, is a member and secretary of the disciplinary committee. Number 10, the National Working Committee also notes that assuming, without conceding, that the tenure of the current National Working Committee has even expired, we must state clearly that it is not the responsibility of Dr. Alex Oti as Governor of Abia State to convene a NEC meeting for the purposes of setting up a caretaker committee. It is still the responsibility of the national chairman and the national secretary of the party to convene such a meeting. Secondly, it is the responsibility of INEC to officially communicate in writing as to why it has objection to the conduct of convention and indeed draw the attention of the leadership of the party to the fact that their tenure has expired. Examples of such official communications are numerous, such as was the case in ADC and that of Accord Party. The tenure of the leadership of these parties expired, and INEC wrote several letters to those parties to draw their attention, particularly the attention of the national chairman of these parties to the fact that their tenures.
I said I must come here. I said there's no way I will not come here. I said I must come here. I said there's no way I will not come here. I said I must come here. I said there's no way I will not come here. I said I must.
You get that? He added Alex Soti, the golden son of the obedient struggle. How could he just like, okay, that's like, you know, the battle line is drawn, okay? And the Labour Party is like cheering apart this way as Abure is not going to go down without a fight. And, oh, sorry, he's not going to go down without dragging the same party with him. He's fighting what he believes is coming from external forces that want to control Labour Party. While the external forces are accusing him of corruption and high-handedness, dictatorship, in a way that they said he's been actually running the whole thing. You know, he's been running it like a one-man show with other guys behind and all that. Like a racket, you know, to the point that some of them reported him that he is funding terrorism. Idiot and Delamidiot Pampas. These were guys who became famous. Trying to tell us that Abure, they chop alone. You know, they give them anything. They are hearing about billions. Now Abure is fighting everyone. Here is the concluding part, by the way.
Has expired. Nor that indeed the convention of the party that was held at Inewe was not accepted by the commission. That is why the intrigues and the maneuvering that are ongoing are laughable. 11. Apart from the fact that the Federal High Court in Abuja has already validated the National Convention held in March, there are other persons who have equally challenged the convention of the party, and these cases are as follows. The lists are here and you can see them. It is therefore trite in our laws that once cases are pending in court, parties are to maintain status quo ante in order not to destroy the rest. In this case, INEC is expected to maintain the status quo ante in order not to destroy the rest of the party. INEC is expected not to descend into the arena of conflict, but to continue with its neutrality and work cordially with the recognized leadership of the party until the courts state otherwise. 12.